So, hi, Sue. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi,
Hi.
Liana. Good to see you.
So, I just thought we could have a little virtual coffee because I don't think everybody, number one, has heard the story of how we met, but I also know that you are one of the most interesting people I've ever met. I love your background and your skills, and I just wanted to dive in a little bit deeper and talk a little bit more about like the cool stuff you're working on. I mean, you're always, I won't spill the beans. I'll let you talk about it.
Okay.
But I'd love to kind of talk a little bit more about that. But do you want to start with just like the cool way we met?
Yeah,
I just love that story and the
I
way you
love it
tell
too.
it.
I think it's so awesome. So, I have a coaching program and I teach business owners and entrepreneurs how to use TikTok. And Liana bought my coaching program. You came through and it was cool because it was like a brand new funnel and Liana was like the first person who bought it. And then she came to the next group coaching call and I introduced her and she started talking and I was like, wait a second, like who is this woman and how have we never met? And I just knew Liana that we were gonna be doing some things together. Like literally the second you started speaking, I was like you're the yin to my yang. Like it's like I do these things and Leanna does these things and they don't really we do what we like to do and it goes really well together and that's how it's progressed. But I just think it was so cool that you were actually like a customer and then it was like there was much more that we were supposed to meet for beyond that. So yeah, it's totally cool.
Yes, I finally decided I was going to do something in TikTok and I kept scrolling through and I was getting so discouraged because everywhere I saw was like younger people dancing in sexy clothes and I knew I could not do that. And then I saw Sue and she's having all this fun and she's clearly not an 18-year-old, like not, no offense, you look awesome, but you were engaging people and you had such a great following and just teaching, and I just felt she's doing something different. And then I remember the exact TikTok that I bought from. You did a TikTok and it was the green screen and you showed Dave's account behind you. I remember you went something like that. It was kind of fun to
Yeah.
show, you said, "Hey, here's where he's at." And I thought, oh, I mean, he's got white hair. He's kind of an older guy. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, if she can help him, then maybe I have a chance." And then she said, "Go to my bio. There's a special on right now." And then I read through her whole sales page and I bought. And then I showed up for the coaching call that week.
That was yeah, I mean, I just love that. It's like I feel like we were supposed to meet and it's just kind of a neat way that it came about because one of the first things that we talked about was my funnel. You've been helping me with my funnel and so it was just so hands-on. Like I was able to just say to you like what was the exact process that you went through and how did it feel and so that's been really cool. But yeah, TikTok for me has been a game changer. I saw when I first saw it, I thought it was about young kids and dancing. And then I soon realized that it wasn't just about that. And you talk about Dave. So Leanna's talking about Dave Worthen, who I say his age out loud because he does also. He's 68 years old. And he's been on TikTok for 9 months and he's built a following. I think he's at like 160 or 180,000 followers now. So I mean, anybody who thinks age is an issue, I first say, like, look at me. And then I say, well, look at Dave, right? Dave thinks I'm young. So,
And he's book solid, right? I mean, I think they broke his website at some point and it was.
well, that was the cool thing about Dave. He's a marketer too. And he was all about learning how to use TikTok to grow his business. And he got his link going in his bio and he was getting people to a Zoom call where he was selling them on marriage counseling or relationship counseling. And he did his website broke within a couple months. They like it completely crashed. He lost everything. And then shortly after he got this rolling, he actually had to remove the link from his bio because he couldn't keep up with all of his bookings. Like he's full and it's all been from TikTok. He does everything on Zoom now and all of his new clients have come from TikTok.
Right.
Crazy.
Now, part of these virtual coffee sessions is I love that we can go deeper and find the person behind the persona, behind the celebrity. And I love it because when I hear Sue speak in Clubhouse or anywhere else, because I wait for the one person who says to her, "You should be on radio." So tell us, like, can you share your whole history here? Because you're not just some random person who said, "Hey, I'm going to start on TikTok."
That's true. Yeah, I was kind of in the business a bit before then. So I got started in radio in my hometown and where I currently live. It's in a small town in BC, Canada. So I started when I was 14 and I worked at the local radio station here all through high school. And then as soon as I graduated high school, they hired me full time. And then within a year, I landed a gig in Vancouver. So for me, going from small town BC, Vancouver was the big city. And that was, really my big goal. And I hit it when I was 18. So that was pretty incredible. I landed my first job then, and then I spent about just over the next 20 years in Vancouver. So I was in radio a total of about 24 years and had a blast. It was, I mean, it's what, I mean, it's kind of like what I'm doing now, but obviously for somebody else. Now I get to do it for myself, but it's one of those things that's totally fun. Like, I was a kid and I wanted to be on the radio, and then I got to be on the radio, and I just had this really awesome, fun career. And then I started having kids. So by the time I left radio, I had 3 kids, like, I think they were like 5 and under at that point. And I just wanted to be home with them. And I always have been an entrepreneur at heart. And so I really wanted to just build my own thing. And so I just started doing that. And I did a couple of different talk shows on radio. I actually did a parenting talk show and another one in Vancouver. And then I left radio. And I just moved kind of the skills that I had developed over the years of marketing and broadcasting and technology, really, like since the 80s. And I just took my talents or my skills and I moved them over to the internet. And I just thought it's a big world out there on the internet, and I bet you I can build something. Mm-hmm. And so that was 2008, 2009, around then. I have not had a real job since then. I've never, I've been self-employed since then. I've been able to be home with my kids. And to me, that's a win. I've been on a very wild ride as an entrepreneur, as most have. I have some crazy stories along the way, but the whole time I've been able to literally work from my laptop with my webcam and my smartphone and just find different things to do. So that's been cool. Yeah. So yeah, that was before TikTok. And then, and then I got into TikTok, and it was just when I got into TikTok, it was a time to rebrand. I was like, I had changed I had a radio name. I was Susan Sierra. That's what people in Vancouver would know me as. And so that was a fake name. That was literally a radio name. And then I had a married name, and then I wasn't in radio and I wasn't married anymore. And so I wanted to go back to my maiden name. And so I did that Sue Zimmerman is my maiden name. And I did that right before I joined TikTok. And so it was kind of a test for me in a way. I thought, can I go onto this platform as a nobody? Like literally nobody knew me as Sue Zimmerman unless you went to high school with me, And can I do this with no following, no branding, nothing, and just build something from scratch? And that's been kind of the coolest thing for me, is because as it's progressed and I've really honed in on teaching TikTok as, my micro niche, is just that I was able to do that so like for somebody who doesn't have a huge following and is thinking, can I go on TikTok and actually build something from nothing? Like I did it. So I wanted to do it so that I could say, hey, I did it. So like, if I can do it, so can you, right?
And where are you at today on TikTok with followers?
I just hit 215,000 followers. The numbers on TikTok are crazy, wild stuff. But yeah, I guess that feels pretty amazing to say, although it's all relative, because, you hit a certain level and there's always, I know people that have 4 and 5 million followers on TikTok, right? So my tiny little following is nothing to them. But of course, that's a lot. 215,000 is crazy and awesome. Yeah.
No, I know that you've also you're known as the TikTok coach, and I know you've been very public with Rosie O'Donnell asking you to coach, and Henry Winkler, I think you were in his stream, and a couple other people I know we can't mention. But you also work on some other things outside of TikTok, because I love seeing how you're always testing things and you're kind of learning from everything you've done on TikTok. Can you I mean, I'd love to just chat with you a little bit more about some of the cool stuff you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. So, what I loved about TikTok and what I loved about Twitter in 2008, I actually, I built a following, I think, to 45,000 on Twitter in 2008. So I've always loved getting into the new technology because I love technology. And so when it's new and if I can get in and I can learn it, do it, teach it, that's what I've always loved to do. Then that's just, then I get to play, then it's fun for me. So, I mean, the biggest thing to come along since vertical short form video is social audio. And so, TikTok, I always take it beyond now. It's like, yes, you create your vertical short form video in TikTok, but then you want to put it on all of the other platforms that will take that style of content. And then there's social audio. And so I jumped into Clubhouse. Liana, it was you. I got the invite from you. I mean, Liana always finds out about this stuff first and then tells me, like, you got to do this. And then I'm like, okay. And I dive in. So, you're definitely keeping me on the pulse. And also, one of the things that Liana said to me was, you got to do your own room. Do it. It's audio, your radio thing. Like, you got to do this. And, I believe what Liana has to say.
You
So
were made for this. Like your voice was made for Clubhouse.
So I jumped in and I started a room right away. And I've been doing it every week since I started in January. Again, it's all about the consistency. So I literally have moved the time around a couple times and, but I've committed to that. So I do that every week. And now that's solid. It's Fridays, 11 o'clock Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern. And so that's Clubhouse. And then I'm also a regular moderator on Clubhouse on the social media show, which is a very big weekly or daily show. And I worked my way into that just really at the beginning, just showing up and staying in my lane, like you said, like I had never, well, clearly, obviously before TikTok, I was not a TikTok coach, right? So I started calling myself a TikTok coach on TikTok. And then when I got to Clubhouse, it's like, I'm the TikTok coach, and so because I got so specific on my branding, then when I would come into like a social media room on Clubhouse, I'd be brought in as the TikTok expert. And that was cool. I didn't need to talk about YouTube or Twitter or all of the other things that, of course, I've always been involved in. I was happy to just talk about TikTok. And then that really built something for me on Clubhouse. That's what I truly became known for. And then, now Clubhouse has progressed along and then Green Room comes along. Now, I am not one, I love shiny objects. And yes, I do like to look at all the shiny things. But, I don't think anybody can stay on top of every single platform, and do it really well. So I don't like to just jump onto everything. But what really stood out to me with Green Room and why I believe it's a big deal is that it's Spotify. So Spotify bought Locker Room. Locker Room was all about sports. Spotify bought it, changed it to Green Room. And now, there's lots of comparisons to Clubhouse because it's more social audio. But what I'm doing with that platform is using it more to create a show. Whereas like a really formatted kind of more of a radio show that Liana keeps telling me I need to look at it like that. And she's right. And I believe that Green Room, I tried to do that on Clubhouse. I was trying to do like a live podcast with a studio audience and questions. And well, for one, you can't record on Clubhouse. So Green Room, you can. So that opens up a ton of new opportunity there. But I just think it's laid out in a way that is more geared to people who truly want to run a show. Whereas Clubhouse is like, let's all get together and talk together, like a whole bunch of us at once. Whereas, and speculation is that Spotify is currently looking for creators. They want people to run shows on there. So I'm just really paying. So now I'm doing a show on there. You asked me the things I'm doing. So now I'm doing a show on there. And again, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I got to do it every week. And for this one, I've got a partner. So I've partnered with Heather Havenwood, who is much like me, where she's been doing this for years, all the different technology and things, but then she really honed in and has been branded herself as like the podcast queen or gal, the podcast. She teaches podcasting. So, but podcasting and beyond. So together we're doing that show. And again, it's like, I wasn't going to do it until I knew what it was and that I could commit to it every week. But I just, I mean, the app is only 2 weeks old. So if you can jump into something that's 2 weeks old, like, when I got into TikTok a year and a half ago, I wished I had gotten in a year earlier. And people say to me, I wish I'd got into TikTok when you did. And I say, well, in a year, you're going to wish you got in a year ago. So do it now. But Green Room, as we're speaking today here, is like literally 2 weeks old. So if you ever wanted to be new on a platform and you're into podcasting and that's your thing, then it's definitely worth paying attention to.
Oh. So
how do you decide?
Oops,
Whoops, I think I'm back.
How do you decide what to jump into?
For me, a lot of it is personally what I see enjoying, okay. So John Assaraf, who is somebody that I've actually been coaching on TikTok, and he was my business coach when I first got started 12 years ago. We've like come full circle, and now I'm teaching him TikTok. He just got verified. I'm so excited. Like he's doing really well. But one of his sayings that I've kind of taken with me over the years is find people who play at the things that you have to work at. Find people who play at the things that you have to work at. So my collaboration with you, Liana, is exactly that. Like you play at all the things, like the landing pages, the sales pages, the ads, like all that stuff. Like that's work to me. That is like poke a hot poker in my eye type work, right? Whereas I am like, I'll interview you, I'll be here on camera all day, I'll bring the energy, I'll do, and you're like, okay, like I'd rather have my camera off, right?
Yeah, it stresses me out. This is stressful for me right now.
Yeah. And it's like I play at the things that you have to work at, and you play at the things that I have to work at. And so boom, like what a collaboration, right? So yeah, Clubhouse has really opened that up to me. That's been the biggest thing for me on Clubhouse, is finding more collaborations. Like with Heather, it's like, it's a bit different with her because we both do a lot of the same things, but we do different things, and we go kind of way back. We've known each other for a while through some mutual people. I don't know. It's just somehow it works. And we did our first show and got some great feedback on it. And again, I'm always just testing, we'll try this out for a while. And if it doesn't fly, it's all good. But you asked me, how do I pick which ones to jump into? Yeah. So back to the fun thing. So that it's got to be fun. Like I've got to enjoy it. So I loved TikTok right away. It was just like, oh, this is casual and fun and not so like polished. And, like I'm not 18, right? Like I'm not about like the no, like the no clothes and the dancing without my clothes on. Like that's not my thing. Right. So Clubhouse for me, just like your recommendation for one, and I could just see, like, you just feel the vibe when you're in there. Green Room, the biggest thing for that was the Spotify connection. I don't know. I look at all the different things. I feel the energy. I try it out, and I'm not always right. Like I've definitely jumped into apps that have. Of course, we all, like we don't know where it's going to go.
You had a Periscope account, right?
I did. I absolutely did. I did a video with, Joanne Pham, a good friend of mine, has like the largest women's Periscope community. There's like 10,000 people in it. And she and I had done some stuff before that. And I interviewed her about this new app, Periscope. It was on YouTube for years, but when it first came out, like she was all over it. Right. And she was a perfect example of like, she was just like, I'm doing this. And she was live every freaking day on that app, like, and built this huge community. She did amazing things with it. So, yeah, I tried it, but I never had that like feeling of, oh, I gotta do more. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. And then TikTok was, it just kind of, it became a really easy way to create content. I like quick and easy, really, when it comes to that.
We all love that. Yes, quick and easy is
good. I don't want to spend hours on every video. Who has time for that, right?
So how can we be helpful to you right now?
Well, I would love for you to come and join me and Liana in my group coaching program. That would be cool. So every week we meet on Zoom. Well, there you go. There's the link. And it's a live group coaching. I've realized, like, in all the years that I've been doing my thing online, that group coaching is where I'm just most passionate about that, because then I can talk about my stuff, but then I can also find out where everybody else is at. And it's really hands-on. Like, it's all about starting on TikTok, building on TikTok, and how to actually connect it to your business. How to, I think that we should, if we're going to create content every day, we need to make money for doing it. We need to get paid for it. So there's lots of ways to do that, obviously. And that's really our focus. And then really, as it's grown, the program's been around for 10 months. And as it's grown, all these amazing entrepreneurs come into it, like Liana. Like, Liana literally just bought the program, and there she was in it. And so all of these business owners and entrepreneurs are coming with more knowledge. So it's not just me. It's really it's become more of a mastermind, because I'm not the only one bringing the goods, right? Everybody's doing there's so many cool things happening.
I love that there's so many different like industries, because I'm used to going into business groups and pretty much we're all internet marketing, and I mean, it's very similar. The crowd as well. And I love that your group has, like, what do you have in that? Like, we've got musicians, we've got
fitness. I mean, Dave with his marriage counseling. Susan has an inspirational blog for women over 50. Nutrition. There's actually another woman has her main thing is a podcast for women in their 30s and 40s. It's called It's Not a Crisis. And she's gotten some cool things going on TikTok. So yeah, I mean, it's funny. A lot of people will say, my business is X. Like, do you think it would work on TikTok? And I've never found a reason to say no to anybody. Like, I think you can make it work for anything.
Hey. So can you just read out the link for everybody one more time so we can help you out?
Yeah, you bet. It's SueZimmerman.com/join.
So that's great. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, Sue, having some virtual coffee. And I hope we can do this again.
My pleasure. Always, Liana. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.